Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Bless.
What's up with it, y'all? Man, don't change that down. This your player partner, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that down. Well.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout out to the live show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704. Make sure y'all tune in for the blazing hot music.
What it ain't, what it do. It's Chili Chill from that original Lynch Mob. And Off the Cuff Radio is always where it's at on Friday nights. West, y'all. And we are now tuned in at episode 452 of Off the Cuff Radio. I am your host, King Eric, the Media Assassin, and this show is sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, Fleetwood and the Cotton Pickers, Jesse Boutique, Core Financial. Got my host T-Max with the facts in the building.
What it do, y'all. It's another Friday night of fantasticness. OTCF in the building. I am your co-pilot on this fly-ass journey. And tonight's show is a very, very, very special one. We say this all the time, but this show is an extremely special one tonight because the history, the education, the science behind this cannot be understated. We're doing this for everybody out of Compton, LA, Long Beach. You know, we're doing this for Rosecrans. We're doing this for Central. We're doing this for 97. We're doing this for ECC. We're doing it for 108. We're doing it for Figueroa, 5-9s, Blood, Crips, Pyrus, Hawthorns, Inglewood family, Rolling 20s, 60s, 8-Trays, Insanes, you know, Hoovers, 88 Avalon, and so many more. Our guest tonight is one of the most respected, one of the most cherished individuals because he was part of the groundbreaking project that we know as Bangin On Wax, released on March 9th, 1993. Before that, of course, as Ice Cube said in Wicked, April 29th, 1992 was, of course, the beginning of the Rodney King riots. But somewhere along the way, in almost a year's time, throughout all the chaos, throughout all the social unrest, throughout all the violence and just strife in Los Angeles, something magical happened where so many individuals from different sets, shout out to, you know, of course, the legendary Redrum781 passed away. Shout out to the legendary Bloody Mary, a.k.a. Nene X, who's passed away as well. This man right here, along with OG Sinlo Blackburn, of course, C-Note Danny Girl, a.k.a. Beauty Blue, they all came together to make hip-hop history in a way that has not been duplicated since. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, to tell his story on Off the Cuff Radio, we are honored, we are privileged to have Aaron A. Love Bryant on. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. What's going on? What's cracking?
What it do?
Everybody
True
out
Blue,
there. Everybody out there.
What it do, man?
Oh, man, I'm just chilling. I want to also mention and give respects to the OG K&P's Tweety Bird Load and
yes,
the homeboy folk clips too. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely
man.
in the house, man. East side in the house.
East side Compton, man. Look.
Yes, sir. Yes,
hey,
sir.
look, this is an honor, man, because we reached out to you, King and myself. You're a part of history, man. Like I said in the intro, this cannot be understated what you and so many others did for the hoods, not only in Compton and LA, but for the state of California as well, where you all came together. Without further ado, man, please, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, as far as the project is concerned, because, prior to the project, we was always in the music, you know what I mean? Me, Black Jason, was my cousin, lived next door to me. Blue Rag, Sinlo, they live right across the street from me, you know what I'm saying? So we all grew up together, and we was always vibing on something, you know what I mean? And then during the peace treaty, of course, you know what I'm saying, we was riding and going around other neighborhoods and seeing everybody and meeting up with folks and stuff like that. And Tweety and Rum and Ronnie came up with the idea for doing the Bangin On Wax project. At that time I hadn't heard anything about it, you know what I mean? They had already contacted Blue Rag and Sinlo, and the Blood Side had already gotten together and everything, and they was rounding up people on the east side, homies from Atlantic Drive, Kelly Park, stuff like that, to put some stuff on the tracks, you know what I mean? So we all got together at the studio in Inglewood and vibed on what we was gonna do, and talked about how the project was gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And it was about unity, you know what I'm saying? It was about unity. We even had, folk clips singing on Pyru Love. So it was a Crip and Blood thing, you know what I'm saying? It was about unity, even though the tracks themselves, we was dissing and all that kind of stuff, but that was just the rap part of it. The whole thing itself was about unity and, spreading it out, you know what I'm saying, getting around and letting them know this is what we're doing. Because if you're talking about the hoods and everything, if you're talking about gangs, you're talking about the West Coast originating the Crip and Blood thing, you know what I mean? So, and a lot of states and people following all around the world with that same thing. So if we unify, maybe they'll be unified. We could just bring peace and, stop all the violence. And so that's what we was on a mission for, you know what I mean? So after they came and got me, we brought C-Note in, and we hit the project. We went in there, and, everything. Battle Cat was doing tracks. Dookie Fingers was on the strings. We had a few other, musicians and everything in there. And we literally just wrote it, laid it right there on the spot. We knocked that whole project out 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So it was back to back. When the Bloods was in the studio doing their thing, we was working in the next room over doing our thing, coming to the booth, knock it out, and we was listening, vibing on what everybody was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was all good.
Man.
So after that we worked on trying to move around, you know what I'm saying, do some shows. We did, the Maury Povich show, and then we did a little something in Palm Springs, and that didn't turn out right because of some local hood stuff in Palm Springs, but we stuck together, you know what I'm saying, and we moved on this show in Oregon, and that was beautiful. You know what I mean? Beautiful when you got out there and everybody from every hood and everything was out there singing the lyrics and vibing to it and everything. And we invited them up on stage and we just did our thing. It was all peace, and that's what we was working about. That's what we was trying to get. You know what I mean? So that was the project, and that's what we was working on. And Red Rum, you know what I'm saying, like say rest in peace, Red. And he continued, Sin Locust continuing it, Blue Rag continuing it, Danny Girls continuing it. They out there pushing still, still pushing for unity, still pushing their projects. and trying to make things happen. You know, say Redrum, we lost him, but up until his very last days, he was just moving around pushing, you know, saying for peace and unity, and pushing some good vibes and good music.
I don't think people understood how much of a big deal that was at that time, because especially when y'all had the peace treaty, that was to us outside, on the outsiders looking in, we was like, wow, this is a big deal right here. This is like what I call serious movement.
Yeah, it was a serious movement. It was a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? It was good. I mean, I was seeing cats, you know, when you grow up in the hood, you know, like when you're young and people spread out, you know, go to school. Everybody go to school, junior high, elementary school together, and then you start spreading out to different schools in different neighborhoods, and people, you know, youngsters start, you know, realizing what they want to do and what they want to be, and some of them, you know, move on to sports, and some of them move on to this, and some of them move on to the hood thing, and you separate. You know what I'm saying? You don't see these cats, and then, you know, they get into some mischief, you know what I'm saying? And you end up with some enemies, you know what I mean? And during the peace treaty and everything, you know, like we had big picnics like at Kelly Park and everything. You see cats you ain't seen in forever, you know what I'm saying? And the vibe was good, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll go over to the fam over there on West Side, and they was Pyrus, and ran up into some family members of mine in Bounties, you know what I'm saying, just moving around where you wouldn't normally go, and if you was going there, you wasn't going there for something nice, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that came together, it was strong, man. You know, it was strong, and it was a real serious movement and everything, and we was, you know, trying to hang in there, trying to get it stay together, you know what I'm saying? And we're happy that we had that time and be able to have some influence around the world with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. One thing about it, A-Love, is that when you look at that time, especially in L.A., because, like King said, you know, what made this so monumental was because if you look at the history of it, this was the first time where, you know, because obviously coming from the West Coast, there were so many different rappers repping different sets by then already. Of course, you had DJ Quick, you know, TTP, you know, you had MCA Compton's Most Wanted representing Tragnu, NWA with Easy, and Ren, of course, representing Kelly Park. You know, so you already had, and Dub C, who can forget Dub C, with his first group low profile before Mad Circle, and he was representing 111, you know, you know, Neighborhood Crips. So you got a lot of these individuals, while they were already gang affiliated, they never necessarily put it out there publicly the way you all were, and that's what made the record so incredible, because this is the first time we actually hear a hip-hop album that is really, the theme of it is, you know, y'all really got to shout out y'all sets in terms of where y'all represented. This gave the listening public outside of Los Angeles and California, you know, to really have an understand about, you know, what was really going on in the hoods. A lot of people didn't know about, you know, what it was like, you know, really in terms of Crenshaw. You know, we really were introduced to it. You know, we saw Boys in the Hood. You know, we heard Crenshaw Mafia. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we really saw the nuance of it. You know, when we see A Trey Gangsta Crip, you know, we're seeing, you know, of course, 60s, you know, rolling 20s, you know. I mean, it's for so many sets. Tell us about a lot of the sets that came together for it, because I don't, you know, for just historical context, how many sets from both sides of the flag, or all three if you count Blood, Crip, and Pyru, because it's, for a lot of people that don't know, it's three different sets with it. Tell us about some of the sets that came in and contributed with it.
You're right. Well, I may miss some of this because on the C side, I know we had Atlantic Drive, Kelly Park's Neighborhood, and I believe that in Rolling 20s, my bad, don't ever let me forget C-Note. You know what I'm saying? So for the Crip side, I think that was it. No, Palmer Block also, I think. I believe. I'm not sure if Palmer Block. It's been a minute. You got to realize it's 27 years.
Okay. It's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then on the Blood side, I think it was Bounty Hunters, and I think Avenue Pyru, And then
Red Rum, that's what Red Rum was from Avenue.
Yeah, right. And then Crenshaw Mafia. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure about what other set, because I know some of the homies and stuff have rest in peace and everything on that side. And you know, to me, when I was there, I mean, there was bloods, and I didn't get to holler at everybody on the details. You know what I mean? Everybody on the details. You know, I should on especially like on Rum, but the homie Dog, I wasn't sure where he was from and everything, and a couple other cats and everything. You know, but it ended up. I mean, the first Bangin On Wax projects, I want to say it was like 5 Crip sets and about 5 Blood sets. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, between Blood and Pyro, you know, so I'm not sure which and everything. But you know, it was I think I thought it was Insane in there too. Matter of fact, so yeah, man, it was a few sets, but it's been a minute. You know, to give you the details on how many sets, but it was a lot of us. We was deep in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was always, you know, still trying to maneuver, get there. You know what I'm saying? Because it was in Inglewood, and you know, even though it was during the peace treaty, you still got to maneuver. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you never know.
Right.
When somebody on some flip it, on some set tripping and shit. You know what I'm saying? So but
now,
it was
I was going to ask you.
Go ahead.
When you was putting together that project, how were y'all able to recruit some of the best rappers in y'all state? Because I know it had to be a vetting period.
Yeah, well, you know, as far as on the Seaside Tweet, you know, like I said, came to Blue Rag and Sin Loke, and they was already, you know what I'm saying, because we had already rapped on some of Tweety Loke shit. You know what I'm saying? So he knew who was there. And, I mean, even prior to that, with Easy being in the hood, Easy lived right around the corner from me. So we had already, I mean, mostly everybody in that hood around there who was about rapping had already shot Easy a demo, you know what I mean, before the whole project. So everybody already know who was who as far as that's concerned, you know what I mean? Now, as far as the second and third projects, I don't know, because I stepped out after the first one. We all stepped out after the first one. So when they went to finding artists and rappers and real niggas from hoods and shit, after that, I don't know how they recruited them. You know what I'm saying? I suspect Tweety was still on it, and they were still coming to Tweet, you know what I mean, getting in touch with Tweet, you know, about the next project. Rum was doing the recruiting on his side, and, you know, how he went about it, I don't know. You know, and when I got there, they was there.
One thing about it, A-Love, is when we look at that level of MCing, because, you know, of course, you know, and Easy growing up, so it's like everybody, because of course NWA has really kicked down that door for y'all, you know, in 88, and this is 93, so this is 5 years afterwards, you know.
Right.
This is pretty much everybody, because you all had a chance to really go national with this from what it was like in the hood already, where you had a lot of rappers that was already known. Tell us about your introduction to hip-hop in terms of who really influenced you, and what was it like around that time when NWA really opened up that door for all of y'all, like, you know, and then, of course, King T, you know, Ice Cube, I mean, DJ Quick, everybody that would come after them, you know, there was really going to, like, this is, because by the time y'all album drops in 93, the West is on. I mean, this is coming a few months after the Chronic has dropped. So this is just like, y'all are like on nuclear in the most positive of ways. Like, y'all are on fire with this. Right. What were some of your influences in terms of inspiring you to rhyme and doing your thing?
Well, I mean, if you want to go, if we're going way back, we're going back to the influences. I mean, you got to give it up to the East Coast to get you started. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, NWA, and before they came in, there was nothing really but East Coast. You know what I mean? And Ice-T, like you said, Ice-T and them came in. But at that point, when the East Coast was doing their thing, I was mostly, like, trying to find my way in the music. I knew I loved music. I know I was creative. You know what I'm saying? But I was trying to find my way, not really knowing where I fit in, because the East Coast is different. You know what I mean? So when Easy dropped, and like I said, he lived right around the corner from one. So when Easy dropped, it was like, oh, man, this is what we doing. We talking about what we do. You know what I mean? We talking about how we live. You know what I'm saying? So we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because before then, it was a whole different hip hop phase. You know what I'm saying? So you wasn't hearing that. Right. You know what I mean? So when he dropping in, when he spit about his homies at Kelly, you know what I'm saying? Kilo G and Cat and all them, we know these cats. You know what I'm saying? This is us. You know what I mean? So we low riding. This is us gang banging. This is us. You know what I mean? So then it became the whole switch mode, you know what I mean? And we had a lot of talent. We had DJ Homicidal Mo, you know what I'm saying, on the turntables. Sin Loc was on the turntables and writing and everything. And then my cousin Black Jason was on Sin Loc stuff. He was writing. He got mad skills, you know what I'm saying? So me and Blue Rag, everybody jumped in, and Easy gave us, you know what I'm saying, some opportunities. I mean, we would sit in right when, like, Dre was in the garage putting together DLC's album, you know what I'm saying, when they was putting together their demos, we was sitting right there, you know what I'm saying, listening to how it goes. And Dre told me, hey, this is the stuff you got right here is good. You need to do this. We had coaching. We had our influences was right there, live and in person. It wasn't like you just hear somebody on the radio and go, oh, I want to be like that. We wasn't trying to be like that. We was already that. We just needed to express how the hell, tell everybody else how the hell we are. You know what I mean? And they was telling us, yeah, this is how you, this is what this is. No, that's a little too clean, homie. That's, straighten that out. Get this together. You know what I mean? And, you know, Dre gave some good advice. One time he told me, he said, look, man, if you talk about it like you believe in it, like you know you how you are. So if you say it like it's real, like, you knowing it's real, everybody else know it's real. You know what I mean? He said, say it. Get your delivery together and tell them about yourself like you know you are. You know what I mean? And they will understand, and they'll be right with you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, our influence was right there. I mean, we was backstage at their shows, and, you know what I'm saying, maneuvering. We jumping the ride with when DLC came out and Above the Law and everything. We jumped right in the ride with DJ Speed, MC Ren, and the homie Chip, and roll out there. You know what I'm saying? Roll to the show. The influences was right there. We was in the door. Wasn't no way that you wasn't gonna hear us one day. You know what I mean? And the peace treaty just brought along, just opened up that door. Like, hey, it's y'all turn. You know what I'm saying, to tell it, because could nobody else tell it? You know what I mean? Because Easy and them couldn't. It's not like Dre and Easy and them can come and tell it. They've already set their path. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was time for next time for the youngsters, the next group, to come and tell it and put it on wax. And that's what we did. I mean, our influence was the homies we grew up with. I mean, we was right there.
And that was major, because when you look at the history, you're talking about individuals, because these are all... I'm trying to get my words together with this, because for our audience out there, you really have to understand that a lot of these heads out here, all y'all grew up together. So you were watching each other at that time. I mean, of course, from Ice-T, when he dropped, Ron Page in 86, NWA comes a couple of years later. So these guys basically put it on, for what y'all were going to come on. And while NWA, while their music was definitely groundbreaking and influential, definitely was a lot of entertainment value. Not saying that it wasn't real, because it was coming from a real place, what they talked about. But you all took it to the next level in terms of being on the front line. Tell us about what it was like during that time, growing up in the 80s, from when 84, going back to the days with Freeway Rick, because you're naming people along the way that we've had the pleasure of interviewing. Shout out, DJ Speed, Sean Lewis, of course. Shout out, Gregory Hutch, a.k.a. Big Hutch from Above the Law. These are friends of ours. We've interviewed, the legends. What was it like in California from a level of when we see in 84 with crack hitting, the days of Freeway Rick, and to give our audience full context, what was it like in the streets of L.A. in terms of when gangbanging shit was really hot, in terms of like because we got some other stuff we got to get to. I know we got only a little bit of time, And shout out to your woman, man. Happy birthday. We can't forget your lady to wish her happy birthday. Tell us about that time and what was going on during that, from how the streets were active to when it came to the peace treaty with the album. What do people have to understand about it out there during that time?
Well, during the time of, like you say, Freeway Rick in the 80s and everything, I mean, he's talking about a lot going on. It was with the crack epidemic and the crack age and the dope spots and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Ice T said it right, you know what I'm saying? And Ice Cube put it right, you know what I'm saying, with Dope Man and all that stuff. But it was a lot going on. I don't even know how to put it, really. It was so much going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with right, crack dealing and money being made hand over fist. You know what I'm saying? And the raids and it was the people getting killed for Dayton's and you know what I'm saying? It was the police caught off by surprise because they hit so fast and moved so fast and blew up so fast. They wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? And then the streets and stuff was just hectic and shit, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. It's something that should be put in a book, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot. It's not something that you could just lay down in a couple of minutes or me to just key on in 1 minute. There's a lot of cats getting money. There's a lot of more crime, of course, because you got a lot more people addicted to drugs and everything. At the same time as all that's going on, you had a lot of functions and good times, you know what I'm saying? You had the roller skating rings popping, big shows, popping. You had Off the Jam's Army popping, all these little concerts and parties, because it was money being made. So when the money being made, it's money being spent. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. There was a lot going on as far as parties and functions, and like I said, the roller skating rings popping, and along at the same time, you know what I'm saying, just people getting flashy because they're making that street cash, and then there's a lot of people getting hurt behind looking flashy and being flashy. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hell of a time, man. It was a hell of a time to maneuver and make it through that time. You could be lucky and use a boss for doing it. You know what I mean? And because it could have been your life taken real easy. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I mean, we lost a lot of good ones. We lost a lot of homies over some BS. You know what I'm saying? But it was a time that you would have to break it. The moment somebody would have to sit down and say, look, this happened in 88, this happened in 90, 89, this was going on, and you know what I mean, and break it down. But as you can imagine, just like now, though, I mean, now it's a little different going on. But when money's being made, good things are happening. But a lot of bad things was coming from how the money was being made, and you know what I'm saying. You got people who are glorified for that. You know what I'm saying, and some people still hate it for that. And at the same time, you got, an appreciation for living through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being able to see it and making it through it. You know what I'm saying? It definitely thicken your skin. You know what I'm saying? It definitely thicken your skin. And if you made it through that time, especially in L.A., in Compton, in Watts, in Long Beach, Inglewood, and all that, you can make it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can make it anywhere because it was a hell of a time.
Yeah. And you all from that time. Go ahead, King.
Especially around that period where the action.
What was that?
It was especially around that period, and it was like day to day and face to face.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, and we think about it too, y'all. When you look at the street legends, shout out to Big U, Waterhead Bo, Pat Johnson, of course, Harry O. I mean, this is what we, like King and myself, we have a joke, but we say it respectfully when we talk about New York in terms of how it used to be with the grimy, the old New York.
Yeah.
This is about what we talk about, the old L.A. This is like, you get it in colors L.A. It's on site L.A. This is, it go down in all blocks L.A. Watch the back alleys, L.A. Part of being a journalist with this, what we do, we always try to really give our audience perspective and context to really understand it, because this was not a game. When we see movies like Oliver Stone's Colors, you know, I know J.O. Felony still got beef with it. We remember the line from South Central Cartel. So what you say when he said, fuck Oliver Stone, he made Colors, getting paid off game banging, you know. Right. But also, too, what you all had going on in the street, that would influence Colors. That would influence, you know, rest in peace to the late, great John Singleton with Boys in the Hood. Yeah. And even going further with it, with Menace to Society. Shout out Tyrone Turner, Lorenz Tate, of course, shout out Allen and Albert Hughes, MCA, everybody that was in it. Charles Dutton, Glenn Plummer, who Glenn Plummer would also be in South Central a year later after that. So you all from this time are influencing not only the music, but a level of cinema too. Because all of this stuff y'all do with the album coincides with everything that is happening during that time. Of course, you know what I'm saying, when you just look at everything that's going on with it, man, it's just, what was it like in terms of what you learned about the business aspect of it, in terms of what it had to be in reference to how you really had to be on your P's and Q's with it and everything?
Well, you know, at that time in 93, I didn't know enough about the business to be in the business. You know what I mean? Not in a business manner. You know what I mean? I still had like the rest of us, we had street mentality at the same time. But the people who brought us into the project itself, we had trust in. You know what I'm saying? And trust is a crazy thing, because first and foremost, you know not to trust nobody in the streets. Right. But we went into the business, instead of saying don't trust nobody, we went in with, well, Tweet's bringing us in, this is this, and we trust this is what it's going to be. You know what I mean? And it didn't turn out that way. You know what I mean? So the money made from the project was lost, and it was gained by the business above us, you know what I'm saying, about the record companies. But like most record companies do, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was one album in, and thank God that I pulled out after that, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you hear about artists 3, 4, 5, several albums in, and they getting screwed throughout the whole career, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying, we got screwed, and, you know, in that project, we definitely didn't make the money, but I was ready to move on with the momentum, you know what I mean? Right. The momentum was behind me, the name was there. The people who had visualized what we were doing, that had seen the video, that had gotten behind us, let's move on, let's get into something else, let's take that momentum and get it cracking. You know what I mean? So I went on and did a little independent project, like, you know, and went on that, but that became another issue because of the way the business was being handled on the end. I mean, I got my cut of the green, but it didn't go as far as it should go. I mean, it was a lot of bad luck with that company. I mean, everything. I mean, good dude that was running the company, and but we had like our masters in the storage facility, because, you know, to keep them cool. To keep them cool, the storage facility burned down. You know what I mean? And so we lost that. We lost that whole project almost, except for like the EP. So I really didn't, all this stuff we had put in, the time we had put in, the work, the money behind it, it went up in flames literally, and it was no redoing. It was just like, okay, we can't get back into that, you know what I mean, because we just don't have the finances to get back into that at that time. You know what I'm saying? But I took it as a sign. I said, maybe this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this business, because I had that one episode with the Bangin On Wax and the business end of that, and the independent, the business end was cool, but then they went under, and because they threw everything on me. You know what I mean? They said, this is the project we're going to jump on because the momentum just, you know, is there. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So there was a little independent label. It's not like today where you can, you know, do your songs, put them on the internet, download, you know, run them a lot easier these days. You know what I mean? But back then, you know, we had to go to the big studio. We had to do the mixes and all that kind of stuff. And And then we put the stuff in the stores. We get some stuff pressed. We get a distribution deal. We did all that, and then the stuff went up in flames. You know what I mean? So it was lost, wow. And I was like, you know what? I said, let me step away from this and just go ahead and do something, get into something else that involve entertainment, because it's not cracking for me like that. So I moved on. A lot of cats, stay. Like I said, Sin Loach still pushing. He got some hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Blue Rag.
Yes,
he does.
Shit. Yes, he does.
C-No got hot shit. They still moving.
Beauty
you know what I'm saying? Black Jason.
Girl, if you're listening.
Huh?
I'll say Beauty Blue. Hey, girl, if you listening, what I see.
Yeah. C-No check in. Yeah, but that's it. But like I said, now it's crazy because people still come to me every once in a while, and want me to get behind the scenes on things. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? You want me to write or go to the studio and help with the mix and listen in on some stuff and get my ideas on some things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, and now I'm older cat anyway. I'm not trying to be on the front line anymore. Music has changed and things have changed. You know what I mean? But I'm cool with being behind the scenes. I know the business ends of behind the scenes. and that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean?
Man, when you think about it today, A-Love, because when you look at this whole situation of music in terms of, before we get further ahead, what was it like in terms of when you all realized you all had a hit album, like people were really feeling it? Tell us about that. Tell us about the video shoot when y'all did Steady Dippin' and when y'all did that. I mean, what was that? Just looked like a big ass. That just looked like a big ass party. I mean, let's just keep it real.
Yeah. So I'll start with the video. The video, we had chosen Steady Dippin' to be the one, to be the single and be the video and everything. And we had gotten together with the video production company, Ronnie Ron, rest in peace, who was a producer of the album and everything. Got him and picked the location. So now this is during the peace treaty, so Kelly Park was our hood, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm neighborhood, but Kelly Park is in the hood. That's the hood too, you know what I'm saying? So that's the location. So we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it in the hood and everything. And so we had done the previous video out on 6th Street Bridge in Los Angeles, the Bangin' On Wax video, the first one. So this one definitely was going to be in the hood. So we got in the hood, and then we were saying, okay, we got to pull this together. So we, it's easy to send the word out to everybody. This is what's going to be, and this is what day it's going to be. I call the lowriders, I call the homies and stuff and say, hey, I need lowriders. Everybody show up with the riders. You know what I'm saying? So they put the word out, so the riders showed up, and we had riders from Atlantic Drive all the way to Nutty Block showing up over there. You know what I'm saying? So, and shout out to the homie Webb, too, for letting me roll his ragtop Cadillac and C-No roll the ragtop Cadillac for that, because my car was definitely not ready for that. And it,
right.
And
do we shout out Mafia for Life and individuals and all them? The cubs, like Mafia for Life, individuals.
Oh yeah, all of them. Everybody I'm talking about showed up, and it wasn't, it was cats showing up. I didn't even know. Like one little scene, they got a little essay in the rag Cadillac, but the essays came through. You know what I'm saying? They was at the liquor store. I don't even know what hood they was from. They just showed up like, hey, we know it's cracking, we know it's peace, and we coming through. And everybody came through, and it was good. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that went down. We just pulled it all together. Make it happen. My homie Slow Joe played a part in it and everything. I mean, it was just like, okay, let's make it happen. And everybody was down. So we pulled that video together. But as far as knowing when it was a hit, because it was an album that didn't get radio play, you know what I'm saying, because of the content, and the industry wasn't really ready for Crips and Bloods. They know you from the hood, like you say, quick and easy and all them. They know they from hoods. But they ain't saying they from hoods, and the industry wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? They wasn't ready to hear straight out Crips or straight out Blood or straight out anything. You know what I mean? And so being able to tell it, we watched it hit the charts, and we was like, oh, it's moving. You know what I mean? But for me, is the show in Oregon when we put that show on, and we got on stage, and everybody in that audience was saying our lyrics word for word.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
What was that like? What was that like?
Man, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. You know what I mean? That's the most beautiful thing. In other words, to know you have some influence on people, and people really understand you and want to follow you and vibing with you. You know what I mean? But we, like I said, because we was piecing and we was down, and we wasn't tripping off nobody. We wasn't afraid of nobody. So we called people up on stage. We had like half the front row audience on stage. You know what I'm saying? And just rocking with us. And Cat walked up to me and said, hey, love, man, I love your shit, bro. I love your shit. He said, man, I know all your words. And he started spitting it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this is real. You know what I'm saying? This is real. And they out here, they listening and they vibing. And then another situation, because at the time my mother lived in Texas, and she called me on the phone. She said, hey. I said, yeah, what's up? And she said, your cousins is over here. And I was like, okay. You mean holler at my cousins? And so my cousins was from Texas out there in the Harlem 30s. And he got on the phone, and I just heard a bunch of women in the background screaming. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And he said, oh, man, he said, it's on out here with that. You know what I mean? And I just talked about 10 people at my mama's house. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what? You know what I'm saying? It hadn't hit to me that it was traveling like that, because I'm still thinking hood. I'm still thinking Compton. You know, I'm still thinking Cali. You know what I mean? At that time, you know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Now with Facebook and everything, still to this day, I got cats hitting me up from Sao Paulo. You know what I mean? From
France. Shout out Brazil.
Yeah, Bonjour.
Normandy.
There, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm all around the world. Cats from Japan hitting it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
Osaka,
man, okay.
Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, to this day.
Nagasaki, Hiroshima, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
Which is a perfect segue.
I was gonna ask you too. So y'all had a lot of when it comes to the content. See, what was different from y'all? See, even when you had Snoop. You had Suge, you had all them, you had Snoop, Suge, you had the rappers that was out around that time, the execs that was around that time at the West Coast. It's like they knew of the affiliation, but they wasn't really putting on records like you guys. I think that's where the scare factor came a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was that definitely a scare factor. The industry didn't know what to do with it. Like even at the beginning when Snoop came out and he used to say something to LBC, and they would say, "Did that stand for Crip?" And he would say, "No, that's Long Beach City," because even at that time they was not knowing how the industry was gonna take it. And you're trying to make your money. You didn't want to get banned, and you didn't want to get, you know what I'm saying, people against you and all that kind of stuff, which I understand. You know what I'm saying? But when we came. And it was no denying how we came. You know, so MTV kicked us off because we threw up gang signs. You know what I'm saying? We was on the box talk back then. That's when you used to have to call in and pay money to see a video. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when it's time to hit MTV, it was like, no, they gang related. And you can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't move on as far as that commercial factor, because we was really gang related. We gang members. We for real gang members. You know what I'm saying? So they're not. And now that came, it's funny because now that came out, and after that came out, then people who were gang members who couldn't say they was gang members wanted to claim they was out first, saying they was gang members. You know what I mean? It wasn't even about that. We was about the peace. We was about the unity. We was about trying to be first. You know what I mean? So, you know. Which
is a perfect segue, because we wanted to ask you this as well, because now, and disclaimer, we only say this because some of these people we know of, and some of these people they've already talked about it. Shout out to Sauce Walker in Houston, representing 102 Pyru, the late great Nipsey, representing 60. Shout out to my people Ron Kine down in San Diego, 619 CJ. Mitchie Slick, Meatface, Mob Boss G, Oso Ocean, of course, man. I mean, of course, Doggy Style representing San Bernardino. The doors opened up now where, and of course, I can't forget my man G. Perico. Shout out Broadway Gangster, and of course, AD, Compton Crib. What we're seeing now is where a lot of these artists definitely, because this is a two-pronged question, when we talk about what was the hustle like in terms of L.A., just in terms of getting your music out at that time and to this day, what it's like, and how do you feel about where you have a lot of individuals who are more open about their gang affiliations, but on the clown side of it, individuals trying to claim sets or trying to bang, and they really haven't been out in the turf, in the wars, because you all were in some real shit and y'all survived it. And it seems now what we're seeing in the, especially with social media era, we're seeing where a lot of times it's something that everybody wants to really kind of play with, but don't want to participate in, or participate in and don't understand the peril with. Please give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, for the first part of that, and getting the music out back in those days was a lot of footwork, you know what I mean? There was a lot of footwork, and I got to give a shout-out to the homeboy Doug out there, because he was a promoter. He used to do some leg work, get on the Greyhound with the cassettes and CDs and albums, and really just hit the streets. Yes, Doug Young. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Doug Young, man.
Got to give Doug Young, got to give him his props, you know what I'm saying, because he definitely put in work for everybody. A lot of major people and players out there, but there was a lot of coming out the trunk back then. It was a lot of footwork. It was a lot of walking in the doors and, doing the project and trying to get into the big industry and to the big labels, trying to get them to bite on it, you know what I'm saying? And Doug Young used to put in his footwork, but it was that and all our own little promotion. I mean, we used to go to the Compton swap meet, just hand out stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just here, this is what's cracking. You know what I'm saying? I remember running in the MC8 on Compton Boulevard, and he throw me a CD, I'm throwing him a CD. That we doing it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Just push it and put it in your radios, get the word of mouth. Wasn't no internet. You know what I'm saying? So, you had to really do some real footwork, to get it out there, you know what I mean? And now today, you know what I'm saying, as far as people playing with it and claiming it and all that kind of stuff, there's always going to be some people out there like that. It's always going to be some storytellers, you know what I'm saying? And some people, sometimes, cats grow up in the hood, and they wasn't really like gang bangers, you know what I'm saying? They grew up in the hood. They from the hood. You know what I'm saying? They might not be in the gang on the hood, but they grew up in the hood. Everybody know them. They got the talent. They come out. They represent the hood. And the hood going to let it be because they really represent them. You know what I'm saying? There's money to be made, and cats in the hood going to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else got the avenue, they're going to take it. But on the other hand, you got some clowns out there. You know what I'm saying? And they put on the uniform, they put on the dress code, and they don't know the ramifications. They soon find out because they get to talking so much and doing so much and putting themselves in certain situations and everything, and don't know how to maneuver or don't have the strength to push through it. You know what I'm saying? Because, all that internet barking and all this, getting out, put your song on. Yeah, it's some things that come to that. You know what I'm saying? It's consequences with that. You know what I mean? And so they have to deal with that. They got to cope with that. And if they smart, they leave it alone. But a lot of cats is making money, and that's all that's important. They don't care. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We got an artist out there. Everybody know the artist out there that snitched on his whole peoples. You know what I'm saying? And is walking around under federal protection right now. And everybody know that cat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, and that's what but people still see he's allowed to still clown, and he's allowed to still, so the youngsters coming up, all they see is the paper. All they see is the chains. All they see is the jewelry. All they see is the cars. They not really seeing the consequences, and they need to see, because these new rappers are dying before they even get known sometimes. You know what I'm saying? All you hearing now is all these young cats losing their lives. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of conspiracy theories behind how they lost their life or why they lost their life and everything like that. But they own cats that's around them and everything looking real shady. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have no code. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have no honor. You know what I'm saying? And they all chasing the dream, and nobody gave them a roadmap. You know what I'm saying? How to get there. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no G's. They don't have no OGs. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look at here. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't do this. We don't front that. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They just out there doing it, and ain't nobody telling them don't do it, because they next time they see it, they got 100 G's. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be consequences behind that. All money ain't good money, man.
And like you said, without instruction, it leads to destruction. When you look at when you look at so many artists today, because the West Coast, because there's so many others, that we cannot, get off the show for tonight without mentioning. Shout out to my man Day One, who's producing it. Crazy out there, of course.
Day
my
One.
man Derek
Crazy
CPT. Yes. Shout out to Sav Did It, another incredible Italian out there in Long Beach. We see you with Hookster. For those that have not heard Hookster on Sav Did It on site, Hookster is magic. That girl be doing it. Of course, shout out to Joe Moses. Shout out to Cam and China out of Inglewood, the Dynamite terrific twin sisters who are just fire. Shout out to Brenhurst Baby Shooter, G.I. Joe, Patman the Gunman, Jay Stone from the 60s, man. I mean,
let me shoot a couple of shots. Too, man. I only got a couple, you know what I'm saying, but I got they real ones and they up and comings. I got to give a shout out to Sinlow's daughters, Danny Girl. Got much talent, fat beats, great voice. She coming up. Y'all gonna see her soon. She definitely got them skills, and it's my cousin June Monster out there. But Day One got them fat beats and everything, and shout out to all the little up and comers in the hood and everything. But I had to get them a couple of shots because they definitely gonna be out there.
Oh yeah, and of course the legendary Cocaine out of Pomona, his daughter Anna Salon. She's doing her thing.
Right.
The next generation, how does it feel, knowing that what you all laid down almost 30 years ago is not only respected, but is revered and treasured, has laid the groundwork for a foundation to grow a whole new generation of fresh talent, in California, because you all are now OGs in the most honorable and loving. We love everything about what you all. This is one of the reasons why King and myself, this is why we love doing shows like this. We love interviewing people like y'all, and we love you all endlessly because of what you all have contributed, because you are who we listened to growing up. So now this is a great honor for us when we get to interview people like Big Hutch, DJ Yellow, Richie Rich, Sugar T. We do this for y'all.
Shout out to Sir Jinx, too,
Yes, Sir, and Sir Jinx, yes. We've interviewed Sir Jinx, too. Shout out to Jinx as well, man. You all have, how does it feel to know you all have laid down the legacy that you see so many of the young artists today carrying on a tremendous tradition with?
Well, I'm honored truly to happen to be, a part of that and born at the right time and gone through the right and wrong things to be able to speak on. You know what I mean? And it feels good to see, the next generation come up, do their thing, and they're learning the business and putting out some good music. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at them all for how they're getting their money. They're getting their money out there, and I feel good. And they're not all just doing dumb things with it. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of good investment going on. And I feel good to have given them something some groundwork, you know what I'm saying, for them to build a building on, you know what I mean? So, you know, if I did anything right, you know what I'm saying, if I laid the foundation for them, then, you know, I'm definitely honored and I'm pleased with myself. And I look back at my life sometimes and that's always a pinnacle that I can, you know, be proud of and I stand on, you know what I mean? And it just, you know, it feels good, man, you know. And I'm glad that I was there and able to do it. I'm glad Tweet came and Blue Rag and Sinlo came and got me. You know what I mean? And I was able to put my, you know, spin on, do my part. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's definitely a good feeling, bro. I'm glad y'all appreciate it.
Man, look, of course we got to shout out, you know, Bonnie Phillips, Tweety Bird Loke. I mean, you know, dangerous music for what is released on. Tell us about what life is like for you today, you know, in terms of just living a quiet, you know, peaceful existence, you know, still bopping them 16 switches, cutting, you know, turning, flipping corners in a low. What is that like these days for you?
Oh, man, you know, I couldn't be happier with the way life is going. You know what I mean? I'm an OG in the game, and I get to holler at youngsters about the streets and everything and the music business. I come across cats all the time, you know, who cats that wasn't even born when I did the project. You know what I mean? Who's working on some music and everything, and I hear him talking in music, and I say, yeah, I did a little something, and we get to talking, and they get to know about it. One cat, he didn't know. I let him see the video. He didn't believe it was me, and took it back to his family. You know, the conversation was short, but he took it back to his family, showed them the video. They all showed up at the job. You know what I'm saying? They all showed up at the job because they know, because they was my age and a little older than him, so they was like, yeah, we know. You know what I'm saying? So they came up and hollered at me, and you know, a couple of them was in the gang. There was Bloods and stuff, and they was like, hey, man, we respect everything you do. It's an honor to meet you, you know, and we talked on it, and then he got the insight, you know what I'm saying? So, oh, yeah, this is legit. This is real. And now he listened to me. Now he called me on a regular for a little bit of help with life, you know what I mean? Because it's a struggle, and you don't, like I said, a lot of these cats don't have no G's up there. I don't know G's, so they call me. And they be like, hey, man, I'm going through this. What should I do with this? You know what I'm saying? And I help them out with that, and it's a beautiful thing, man. I couldn't be happy, you know what I'm saying? I got always lowrider in my life, you know what I'm saying, working on a little something, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully not this New Year's, but the following, no, the 4th of July, hopefully I'll be able to swing down to Cali and hit some switches with the homies and everything. But yeah, I couldn't be happy the way things are moving, you know what I'm saying? I got some good friends, good people in my life, all from Rhode Island all the way to the New York, all the way down to the South and back over to the West. I got a lot of people reaching out, and you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good.
Well, one thing about it, because we know you got to celebrate with your lady tonight, A-Love, once again. This has been an honor and a privilege. You're welcome back anytime, because we definitely got to do part 2 in terms of really talking more about the history of it, because we know there's a lot more that we didn't get to. But once again, man, shout out to you, love to you and your family, love to everybody living and not with us anymore who participated on Bangin On Wax. And shout out to all of y'all tuning in on the West Coast and all over the world, man. Y'all could have been doing anything, but y'all tuned in and touched base and connected with us. And for that, we are so grateful, humbled, and appreciative. Is there any shout out you like to give? Any shout outs you like to give before we get off air tonight?
Well, I got to give a shout out to all the hoods, you know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to piece everybody, even if you can't piece all the OGs, you know what I'm saying? I got some OGs out there from Kelly Park and shit, the homie Nardi, and from Compton, from the neighborhood, from South, from Nutty, and from Cousin Woody, all them, And there's so many I couldn't even go in, bro. It's really from Atlantic Drive.
We'll get them next time.
Yeah, we got to get them all. I'm gonna have to write a list because there's so many of them, bro. You should go down the line and everything. But just shout out to y'all, man, for doing this, and I appreciate y'all 100%. One more shout out to my homie Bailey, if I know you out there listening, and then and just thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for reaching out to me. You know what I'm saying? And I love what y'all do, and I'm definitely going to be tuning in to all the shows and supporting y'all and making sure everybody else knows what's cracking.
We appreciate you, Lil on Crip. Stay true blue, man. Always.
For sure.
So, yeah,
and my
man,
brother King.
Us, bro, and we're going to be locked in. So check us out Sunday, Monday. We still man, and check me out tomorrow night on Screwball Radio with Black Poet and Comet. And we out here, man. Big shout out to you, brother.
All right, now y'all go on. Peace.
Peace and God bless. And we out. One.